Alright, sorry guys. I didn't mean to cut you guys off like that. My mom had just came in the room and I didn't. Anyways, she asked me what was wrong and then I started crying more. But anyways, I forgot what the end of I was saying in my last video. I think I was just saying, like, it's hard. Sometimes it feels hard to trust God because when you're trusting God, you don't have, as much. How the heck do I get out of here? When you're have to trust God for something, you have to, like, depend fully on Him. And so that's where kind of faith is tested because, a lot of times people would rather depend on their spouse or depend on their job or depend on, these other things. And I do think a lot of what I have been doing is trying to depend on, oh, well, I just need a better paying job. And then once I have a better paying job, things will get better. And so, thinking like a job is going to fix all of my problems is kind of making the job looking like seeking a better job has become like is what I'm putting my faith in. Like, your faith is in what you are trusting in order to be successful, essentially. So if I keep telling myself, well, all you need to do is just get a better paying job, and once you have a better paying job, all of my problems will be fixed, essentially is what I'm kind of telling myself by saying, like, keep jumping from job to job with nothing really changing because I'm making, getting a new job is what I'm saying is going to fix all my problems. But I've been getting new job after new job after new job for the past 7 years, and not one of these jobs, even if it's better paying, has fixed all of my problems. And so I keep saying, like, oh, well, you just need to be making more money and that'll fix your problems. I do think a lot of people put their faith in their money, put their faith in their spouse, put their faith in their job, put their faith in, things that aren't God or things that are of this world. So the hard part is letting go of what you think is going to fix your problems. And when you let go of that thing, it's hard because usually those things that we are trusting more than we're trusting God, we can maybe see them, or we can they seem more maybe accessible to us, or it's like a comfort zone type thing. Like, it's more comfortable to have a job and put security or trust into the fact that, I have a job that pays my bills, so I don't have to worry about my finances. Or maybe you make a lot of money, and so I already know that money does not solve all your problems. Like, money is a tool that can be used to alleviate financial problems, but there's more problems in the world than just financial problems. And so knowing that, there's this little bench over here, but there's all these freaking bugs. Make sure this chair is clean before I sit down. I am still at this resort with my mom. So anyways, basically, to finish my what is now over an hour long video, this will probably just be part 2. So if you watched all of the last one, y'all saw the cutoff and how it was just like whoop. because my mom had walked in and I wasn't really prepared for her to be back. Anyways, a lot of times it's hard to put our faith or our trust in God because God usually challenges us to put, like, your faith in God is not something that you can always see how it's going to end up. It's always usually in a challenging situation where, your faith in God kind of has to come through. And I remember I had commented on, someone had made a comment on one of my other videos, and I had said how, faith is strongest when you're at your lowest. When you're not in like need of anything, when you're at like a high in your life, let's say everything's right in your life right now is going great, you don't really have any problems, you're in good health, your finances are stable and secure, maybe you're not worried about anything, in those time periods of your life, you're probably not super depending on God, right? Now, maybe you had to depend on God to get there, but after a while, you kind of start getting in the security of, well, I have, this X amount of money, or I have this amount of security because of my job and stability or whatever, or you just bought a house, you just bought a car. Just know that, like, all of the material things in this world, those can all be gone in an instant. So it's just like, I get that it's very easy to find security in the things that we have, whether it's a house, whether it's a new car, whether it's a new job, whether it's whatever it is. It's very easy to find security in those, but then life happens, and then at any instance you could lose that. So, there wasn't really a lot of security with my jobs because, as I mentioned, one of my jobs, I had all these hours and it was good until they cut my hours. And then now what do I have to do? Or I had a good paying job for 6 months, and then with hoping they would hire me on, and then they didn't, and I had to look for a new job, and that led to this, and that led to that, and that led to me eventually being in my current job. And this is another job where my expectations of this being the job that was going to fix all my problems, and that expectation was not met, and now I'm in my current situation where I'm kind of frustrated or unsure or don't really know what is honestly next for me at this point, because again, it's just like another thing that I thought would be security. I put my faith in this job, like, and that's the truth. I've been putting more faith in the jobs that I've gotten than I've been putting faith in God, or actually allowing God to guide me or use me or help me, or whatever. I'm not doing the things that God has actually called me to do, which has led to me being in situation after situation because I keep putting my faith and my trust in the wrong things. And so I guess that's really what I'm learning from, this situation, because if you guys watch other videos, when I talked about this job, I was so looking forward and thinking, oh, this is going to be the job that is going to change everything for me. And like, God does have a sense of humor where he will allow you to, think something's going to work out. And then I'm in this situation that I'm in now. So it's just like, if your faith isn't in God, your faith is not in something that is actually stable. You can lose a job anytime. You can lose a house. You can lose a car. You can lose your business. It's just like, there's a lot of things that people put their trust in, but those things are not necessarily stable. Those things are not necessarily going to last. And, the Bible does tell us, don't store up for yourselves, treasures here on earth. Instead, store up things in heaven. Because if you really think about it, I'm like, first of all, life is not promised. Everyone has a finite amount of days, amount of years on this earth. And so when you really think about it, at some point we're all going to die. I know that's not something a lot of people like to think about. I think it's wise to think about death and what happens after death. If you live your whole life and you're not prepared for your death, and then you inevitably die, and you're not prepared for what happens when I die. I've been thinking about probably death from since I was in high school. It's just like, I know my life's not promised. People die younger than me. There's people who die older than me. It's just like, you just really never know when your last day or life, like, you just don't know. Like, only God really knows that. And so when we think about not storing up treasures here on earth, I feel like that definitely applies to me, because as I've documented on my channel, being a shopaholic and buying so many things that I really don't need, and then storing up basically for myself all of these material things. Now, they're not, I always have to like differentiate. I'm not materialistic in the sense of, I like super expensive nice things, but I like finding Juicy Couture or Hello Kitty, or like all of those like girly fun items I like to shop for, I like to find. I feel like they've kind of been distractions for me, honestly, but they're also things that I'm like putting more importance on than I should give them, giving more focus and more of my time than I should. And even today I caught myself, like, when I was really upset before I started filming this video, because I start filming usually because something's on my mind, I just want to talk about it, get it off my chest, and I never really know where I'm going when I start talking, but I eventually get to a point. So basically, that's the situation we're in right now. I was basically just thinking about my job, and I was about to like buy a bunch of stuff. Like, I had started putting, because that's how I used to, or usually, I guess, handle or manage my stress, through shopping, which I know is not a healthy or a good thing for me to do. Like, if you're shopping just because you're stressed, that's not a good way to deal with stress, is by shopping, especially given my financial situation. And so a lot of people will be like, why would you be shopping when you're already stressed out about your finances? That, my friends, is what we call a shopping addiction, or a maladaptive what's it called? Just maladaptive kind of functions of addiction. People deal with stress in very many different ways, but a lot of times people's addictions do stem from stress. If you're having a bad day, you might go get yourself some food, and then you have a food addiction. If it's just like, however you manage stress, anyone who's managing stress in a not healthy way is probably doing something that's not the best for them when they get stressed or when they're upset. And for me, that is shopping. So anyways, I started putting all this stuff in my cart, which I eventually did all, I exited out. I was like, Jasmine, what are you doing? Like, you really don't have money to spend right now. Like, you already don't have job security at your current job. So, like, any money that is in my account right now is basically going to go to a bill at some point. So I kind of have to, like, keep my account at like a certain level just so I can pay bills. Like, that is the financial situation I'm in now, where it's just like, legitimately, I only have money for bills. All my money is going to bills, because of bills that I've created for myself because of bad shopping habits. And so, it's like, I keep getting like that. Being in that situation is stressful, and then because I'm stressful, I want to spend money, and then I spend money, and then that creates another bill, and it's just like a cycle. My phone's about to die, so I have to keep this quick. But yeah, basically, I just wanted to say that I'm at a point where I know, like, I can't keep down the same cycle of bad shopping. I also know I can't keep putting trust in jobs to fix my situations, because I've been doing that and that's also not been working. So it just honestly comes down to, taking that leap of faith and trusting God for what I do next, because I really don't have any other options. And I feel like it's kind of like a sucky thing to say, how we like trust God as a last resort instead of your first, because I know trusting God is what I should do. It's also just hard to do sometimes. That's just being honest, I know God does not wish any harm on me, of course. It's just hard because you don't have the security, but it's like, I already don't have the security, so wouldn't I trust God? Sometimes we get in our own ways because of fear, because of the unknown, or it's just you're getting out of your comfort zone. And I think for a lot of people, it is out of their comfort zone to actually trust God with their life, or to trust God with finances, to trust God with anything, honestly. You have to give up that control that you think you have, because I've mentioned already, you really don't even have the control you think you do. You just put your faith in things that maybe you can see more than you can see God's plans or what God wants, because God always will call you to something that I almost had a heart attack. It was a guy on a tractor. But sometimes God typically calls people to do things that they're not necessarily qualified for, or to do something that is going to push you outside of your comfort zone. And that is hard for a lot of people. It's hard for me. It's hard for, just stepping out of what I'm comfortable doing and doing something different. But anyways, I just have to trust every experience and all of the jobs I've had served a purpose for me somehow, even if it's just me being able to share my stories and experiences with people who can relate, because being in my situation certainly has not been easy. By any means. It's come with a lot of trials. It's come with a lot of stress, just a lot of things, honestly. There is a huge, I don't know what that is. It looks like ant. I'm just pedaling across with some food, and I don't really like bugs, but I like nature. I'm going to try to show y'all the view really quickly that I'm looking at as I film this video. It's very peaceful out here. We'll say that. Anyways, trusting God. That is what I'm challenging myself to do, because that's what I haven't been doing, and that's what I need to do in order to actually get to where I guess I need to be, or where God wants me to be. It's just hard. It's very hard. And honestly, I feel like I haven't really been as motivated in my faith as I was before. Like, I haven't been really reading my Bible as much, haven't really been praying, haven't really been listening to sermons. And so it's just like, when I stop doing those things is usually when I start having the most like mental breakdowns, if I'm being honest. So it's just like, if I stay consistent with my relationship with God and reading my Bible and going to church and reading sermons, it would be easier. But I've been having a lot of distractions, a lot of other things. There's like other situations I'm dealing with right now that I haven't really spoke on, because I'm trying to wait for a resolution that just hasn't happened. But there's just a lot of things that I still have no resolution for, or still dealing with. So yeah, basically I just need to actually trust God and stop putting faith in jobs to help me out of a situation that it hasn't helped me out of before. Like, let's just be honest. I've been in pretty much the same but different variations of the same problem, which is just expecting a job to help me out of this situation, and it's never worked for me. It hasn't worked for me. So that's pretty much all I think I really have to say for now. And on that note, we're just going to enjoy this peaceful environment out here. And it's close to Buffalo, New York, but it's technically called a city called Java Center. So, yeah. I tried to vlog. I did not vlog a lot. I'm also behind in posting vlogs. I did edit and upload a vlog today earlier this morning. But y'all, pray for me. I need it. I am struggling a lot mentally with a lot of things, but honestly, it's just I'm in a place where I really don't know how. I really don't see a way out right now. And the way out, I know, is not going to be through something I do. It's out of my hands at this point. So, yeah. I will see y'all in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.